I am standing in front of the Melbourne cricket ground. Yeah, right, in COVID times. Believe that, and then you will believe me if I tell you that I have a bridge to sell. Viewers, I'm here to talk about the Adelaide debacle. What could have India done differently? And I have a few thoughts to share. You may agree with me, you may not agree with me, but definitely it is something to think about. I have 5 observations. And the first thing that I want to say is at the end of the first day, India were 233 for 6. And I had tweeted out saying that, well, if the overnight batsmen, R. Ashwin and Ridhiman Saha, gave the first hour to the bowler, then the rest of the day is theirs. They needed to play straight, they needed to trust the bounce of the wicket, and more importantly, I said, please, 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 jump rope for 15 minutes before you put your pads on. Now, I don't know what the preparation drill is for the Indian cricket team. Nobody seems to want to say anything about that. I do know that playing soccer is not a good thing. I can tell you that for sure. The reason is that soccer's flexibility, what you need to do, the kind of moves you do in soccer are not exactly what you do in cricket. In cricket, it is more of a sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, that sort of thing. And more importantly, when you're batting, you need to get into this step-by-step preparation. For instance, I'm just quoting people that have succeeded from this advice in the past. In 2007, Wasim Jaffer was advised by the then coach slash manager. I don't know remember the exact designation. It was Chandu Borde who told him, look, jump rope and then go into bat. And the rest, as they say, is history. Jaffer and Dinesh Karthik starred in a huge opening stand, and I think India won that test. That was the only test they won, but the important thing was to put up runs on the board, and they did that. Wasim Jaffer and Dinesh Karthik, let that sink in again, and they made a difference. So what I'm trying to say is that getting exercise, getting blood flowing in your legs before you go out to bat is a big deal, very, very big deal. And the same thing I can tell you about G.R. Vishwanath, where he had said in one of the interviews that I'm not sure who talked to him, but I think it could have been Manjrekar. I could be wrong, Vijay Manjrekar, not Sanjay, Vijay Manjrekar, or one of those generation cricketers. He said, young man, I see you padded up and watching it could have been Polly Umrigar, watching the game. Why don't you just walk about, get the blood flowing in your feet, and then you, instead of just sitting and watching the game. And GR said that I heard him and I listened to his advice and I did that, and I could convert my 30s and 40s into 50s and 60s, and in fact into hundreds. So there is much advantage, much wisdom in getting some blood flowing in your legs to get you going, to be able to move back or forward and be able to negotiate what the bowlers are throwing at you. Remember, the overnight batsman, it is tricky. Whatever the score you have the previous day, it is meaningless. You're starting over again, and the bowler is at his freshest when they come in to bowl in the morning. So what could Ashwin and Ridhiman Saha have done differently? They needed to trust the bounce of the wicket and not play as many balls as they ended up playing. In fact, I think the very first ball or the second ball that Ashwin faced, he nicked it to the keeper. Same type of dismissal in the second innings also. You would think people will learn. I don't know. Second thing is about Ridhiman Saha in the first innings. We're very, very early into the innings, and then you go and chase a ball that is wide outside the off stump, and you get nicked. Why do you want to play those shots? You already lost Ashwin on the other side. There has to be a certain match situational awareness. You've lost the overnight batsman. You are the last recognized batsman left, and the score is hardly anything. Instead, India lost 4 wickets for just a paltry 11 runs, 244 all down. If Saha had stayed there, remember, he can really swing the bat. You've seen some of his big innings in T20 matches, and He could have tried that. No, he didn't do that. He got out. So it kind of makes me to want to think, what are these guys thinking? That it's okay to just like that go and throw their bat? And more importantly, what is the role of the coach? Would you have sat them down before the game started and said that this is how conditions are in Australia, this is what you need to do? So they managed to make a mess of the bowling in the first innings of Australia. The catches that were dropped by Bumrah and I think Prithvi Shaw, these are all not difficult catches. They were pretty easy catches. And you can say that, it was twilight. I don't get that. It wasn't like they were lost in the lights. They got their hands to it and then they dropped it. So these kind of catches have to be caught. What is it that they were doing wrong? I have no idea. This is an international match. You are expected to catch. These are relatively easy skiers. Tim Payne was let off at 26. He went on to score 72 not out. Labuschagne 2 times. Again, very when his score was low. You got to put us. Australia is one team that when you really have them on the ropes, you don't let go of the pressure. They were 79 for 6 or 111 for 6. And you let them score 191, 80 runs, the last 4 wickets, and the same thing on the Indian side, 11 runs. What a joke. I mean, these things, at a test match level, every batsman, doesn't matter if it's number 1 or number 11, they have to put a price. They have to put a price on their wicket. And they have to absolutely get into the zone and make it as difficult as possible for the bowler to get them out. And I really don't know why they didn't do that. The other thing, now let's come to the second innings. So India was sitting on a good 50 plus run lead. And what does Prithvi Shaw do? Whatever mistake he made in the first inning, same mistake. So people tell you, okay, you can play horizontal shots in Australia because the ball bounces, fine. But not when you are still, getting your eye in. This was over 3 or over. There were just 7 overs left. And you almost never let go of the advantage gained by a 50 plus run lead. You don't put your wicket away. He needed to have played straight. He didn't do that. First of all, I have a question about his selection. Why was he even selected in the first place? What was it that he did that prompted his selection? And you know that there is a thing called form, and he was woefully short of it. He played both the matches, both innings in both the matches. In 4 innings, he didn't do much. And the person who was vying for his spot had done better. Why was this guy played? I don't know why, and I would like to know if somebody can give an answer. So there has to be a lot more transparency than what one sees in these team selections. To me, it sounds like a horrible joke when especially these people are put in saying that, he did well that time, he did well here. Past experience, past performance is no guarantee of future success. This has been told even for things that are not cricket related. These are told even for proper, product. Like for example, if Microsoft were to release version 2 of a product, and if V1 was extremely successful, there is no guarantee that V2 will also be equally successful. There are many factors that go into it. So I don't know why he was played even in this first test. And he made the same mistake. In 7 overs, you throw your wicket away. And then disaster. 36 for 9. 36 all out because the batsman could not have batted. The bowler broke his arm. Shami's hand was fractured, so he couldn't have batted. So it is 36 all out. So let's not try to put some sugar coat on that and say, India was only 36 for 9. Yes, it was 36 all out. And in that innings, let's see what they did. In the 70s, Indian cricket team used to, especially at home, roll out underdone pitches in the hope that their batting will get them 200 runs and their spinners, the trio or the quartet, were good enough to bundle out the opposition. It would be tight games, but India would more often than not win than lose. And those days, the batsmen used to be J.R. Vishwanath and Sunil Gavaskar. Get these 2 out, match over. India will just fold like a pack of cards. Today, the situation hasn't changed. Chepu and Vico. These are the 2 names that actually represent India's batting. I'm sorry to hurt the feelings of Ajinkya Rahane or KL Rahul or the incoming Rohit Sharma, all these people have not shown the same kind of consistency and temperament to make big scores consistently. I don't know. I've been more disappointed than appointed about these three people's achievements thus far. I mean, I can tell you which are all the weaknesses that they are sure to exploit. Rohit Sharma is going to open, then they'll put Mitchell Stark, and he'll try to swing the ball away, and like a magnet, I can tell you Rohit Sharma will follow it to be caught in the slip quadrant. Then if it is KL Rahul batting, they'll put a nasty bouncer, he will try to hook, and he'll get the ball down the throat of the square leg fielder. I'm sure they have worked on it and they are not going to do this again. Yeah, right. That's what I thought when I was thinking that, you people will learn from the first innings and do something different in the second innings. Let's go back to the dismissals on the second innings. You saw Cheteshwar Pujara got a really good ball. So, okay, that you give it to the bowler. But what about Virat Kohli? Why did he have that urge to hit out? I mean, the ball was hardly 10 overs old or 11 overs old. It was doing all sorts of things. He was the last recognized batsman, in my opinion, and he got one boundary. Then why go after bowling so early? Had he got his eye in? I don't think so. He had hardly played 10 balls at that time. I don't think he really had his eye in. So that was a disaster waiting to happen. Kohli in the last series, he actually stood about 6 inches to a foot outside the crease to try and negate the swing. Did he do it this time? You have to go and look at the video to ascertain if he did or not. Did any of the batsmen try something different when the hell is raining down on your head, like the Viharis of the world, or Riddhiman Saha, or Ajinkya Rahane? Did any of them try to throw the bowler off his length? Why did they not try to stand 1 foot outside the crease? After all, Hazelwood is not express. He's not a Mitchell Stark. You could have taken. So what are they going to do? They're going to bounce. So you know that if you're going to stand a foot outside the crease, you're going to get a bouncer. So duck or sway So it is not at test level. No excuses, guys. None of them tried anything different. The brave Mahendra Singh Dhoni tried that once, I think in a swinging wicket in Lords, where nothing was working for the Indian batsman. He tried to, charge out at the bowler to try and throw them off of their swing. And he had limited success. I think he scored a 70 odd in a fighting conditions where nobody else had any clue of how to bat. And the explanation the coach then and now, Ravi Shastri, gave was that no team would have scored more than 70 or 80. I don't buy that. You know why? Because Australia had 93 runs to score after India folded for 36. I would have expected India to take at least 6 or 7 wickets, make them earn it, make them sweat for it. Instead, what did India do? India did nothing that the Australian bowlers did. Why could they have not learned from what the lengths the Australian bowlers were bowling? The wicket was still fresh. Why did they not try to do the same thing to the Australian? After all, their opening combination was something that was just like eeny, meeny, miny, mo selection. Pick this guy, pick that guy, put him, see if it works. If it works, very good. Otherwise, we'll get somebody else in. That was the whole point. He was a placeholder. Joe Burns was brought in as a placeholder for David Warner, who will be playing next match. So now maybe Matthew Wade will give way for David Warner because Joe Burns now has an unbeaten 50. I don't know. But the point here is nobody tried something different in the second innings. Everybody stood there. It's as if they had put their foot marks there and they were told don't move from here and then everything will be all right. I don't know what the role of the coach was when he was seeing this debacle go in front of his eyes. By the time third wicket had fallen, he should have alerted the lower middle order, say, guys, try something different. We got to get 150 on the board. 200 runs can be defended by our bowlers, but nothing of that sort happened. So this kind of cluelessness tells you that something is totally rotten in the minds of the players. Something is really wrong. I don't think it augurs well for a country of 1.3 billion people that you can't even find a proper team of 11 can make the nation proud of its success. And this is a huge letdown for all the fans who talk endlessly about cricket matches. This is your dinner time conversations. This is your water cooler conversations. This is your waiting at the bus stop conversations. What have you? All those things. Now, of course, everything is happening on social media, and I'm seeing a lot of rants. And guys, don't take it out on Anushka Sharma. What did she do? She had nothing to do with this. Although I must say that in the olden days, players did not take time out for paternity leave, and that seems a little odd these days that people are doing it. But that's not localized to Indian cricket team. That's happening in all cricket teams. So we let it go at that. But the stark fact remains that India is totally undercooked. I had said before this thing started that India is going to have a hard time. Now I'm sure I can tell you India is going to have a harder time. And I don't want the coach to say, oh, these were wickets that no other team would have done well. I don't buy that. I think this team is far better than the 36 it scored. And I think that this team can and should put up a fight. Win or lose is the next thing, but do the best you can. And I don't think this team showed up as far as its batting is concerned. The bowling, first innings, yes. Second innings, I didn't see the same kind of effort. It's almost as if they were resigned that they were going to lose, and that kind of helplessness showed in the bowling effort. I'm sorry, that's not the way it's played. The game has to be played because you are playing for your country, and you have to place that above everything else, including the IPL. If you don't want to do that, God's sake, there are hundreds of players, the 28, 29 Ranji Trophy teams that are all duking it out, and only, I think, I don't know, you can count on your fingertips the number of players who played the Ranji Trophy who are in this current playing 11. Maybe Hanuma Vihari, Cheteshwar Pujara, and I don't know who else. All the others have been doing other things. They don't go and play Ranji Trophy games. So this longer term format is not, they are not used to it. And that you play the ODIs and the T20s and someone says, oh, no, you can always adjust. I don't think you can adjust. I think their technique is flawed, throwing the bat at everything. In test match, it is a test. It's a test of your technique. It's a test of your temperament. It's a test of your ability to withstand and play and concentrate for long periods of time. All those things have gone out of the window. I have many other questions to ask of the BCCI. There could be a conspiracy theory here because now you know that Jay Shah, the son of Amit Shah, is the General Secretary, and Saurav Ganguly, who's also seen as a BJP person. Maybe these two are being taught a lesson by the cabal, and I don't know how they are teaching that lesson though. It's a little far-fetched to think that there is a conspiracy here. However, that 36 all out, not even trying to get the Indian team past their previous lowest of 42, and nobody putting a price on their wicket in the second innings is a total diabolical disaster. I think no other format, no other professional team would be playing something like that. There was nothing there on the wicket that warranted a low score like that. Anyway, that is my thoughts. I could be wrong. I hope the Indian team does better. And as you see that the next game is on Boxing Day, the 26th of December, and it will be played right here in the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to PGurus channel.